So it has been 10 years since the city of Flint, Michigan was poisoned with lead, and there is one journalist I know who never gave up on the story, never left the story, and has continued to break explosive news about what was an unbelievable criminal cover-up and conspiracy that did poison an entire American town. That would be Jordan Chariton of Status Quo, and he has a new documentary coming out that tells the entire story in a way that I think has never been told before.
What matters right now is this, that Flint River right there is still right there, okay? And those people that are victims of what was played on them are still victims. The 7,000 babies are still brain damaged. You fucked up. The fact of the matter is now. What do you do about it now? You left a lot of people dead and laying in the street, and you still got people dead and laying in the street. Excuse my French.
They told us we were disposable. That's what they told us, is that we are disposable people.
You think this will ever be fixed?
No.
And, I'm never gonna see my baby again. And they're never gonna see their loved ones again. And I don't know how to deal with that.
These aren't all elderly people. We're talking people in their 40s, 50s.
We're talking about 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking about, I know a young girl have breast cancer, 8 years old.
My grandson, he was no longer an AB student, but a DEF student.
Year 10 of the water crisis, and my 8th year of covering this. I first went to Flint in 2016, and I guess we should start from the beginning. 3, 2, 1.
What is happening here in Genesee County, and is this cancer crisis connected to the water switch? Newly released data from the health department reveals cancer rates here significantly higher than anywhere else in the state of Michigan.
It's the 10-year anniversary of the Flint water crisis, and it's not something from the past.
Jordan, it's always great to see you.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So just talk to us a little bit about what's new in this documentary and why you felt it was so important to stay on this story.
Yeah, I think in today's news cycle where it's hard to remember what happened yesterday, it is incredibly hard, since the media stopped covering Flint long ago, to remember what Flint is about, and also realize that it's actively still a crisis, not something from the past. So I've reported there 20 times since 2016, and each time I go back, it's truly shocking and really horrifying that it's still actively a crisis. We've become numb to that word, but it's still a crisis. And in this documentary, you'll see cancer is through the roof in Flint, and it's not from the weather, it's from the water. Teens are sadly now committing suicide. They were children when they were poisoned. There is serious mental health problems, education problems in Flint. You'll learn that a lot of the money that Congress and elsewhere earmarked for Flint mysteriously did not go to Flint and water relief. So it's kind of a mix of showing the active crisis. Yes, the water is still toxic, and the domino effect with the cancers, the teen suicides, and really a city that is actively in crisis.
Tell us some of what residents that you spoke with want people to know about what has been done to them.
For the most part, residents desperately want people to know that they are still actively in crisis. Residents I speak with still, 10 years later, get rashes from the water. Residents I speak to still, their eyes burn when they shower, still in many cases getting smelly or discolored water. On the other side, residents are nearly going bankrupt paying for medical bills because they did not get universal health care like some other cities with similar issues had. Libby, Montana, for example, with an asbestos disaster, they're predominantly white. They got Medicare for all for their crisis, rightfully so. Flint did not. Residents desperately want the media to pay attention. I know we're in a 24/7 never-ending Trump and Russia and now, understandably, Israel-Gaza, but they can't even get their local media to continue covering their issues with the water, much less national media. So I think between the water, the medical problems, the children, the lost generation, children who are having serious learning problems, reading problems, learning disabilities, autism on the rise, and also crime is on the rise. We know that heavy metal poisoning, lead poisoning, there's research that shows that could lead to higher crime, and there is no kind of understanding or sympathy being shown to Flint teenagers or young adults that are committing crimes, not to defend those crimes, but a lot of that is because their brain was damaged and they have volatile mood swings.
Yeah, and there is no cure, there is no recovery, there is no moving on from lead poisoning. Talk to us about the process of accountability. Have any of the politicians who were involved, have they been held accountable to any extent?
It's funny, all we hear about, and you cover a lot, is all this hubbubaloo about saving democracy. Mm-hmm. Well, how's this for democracy? A U.S. city of 100,000 people was poisoned a decade ago, and not one government official, private and individual has been held accountable. Not one has even seen a jury. And unfortunately, it does not seem anyone will be held accountable. Not to get too in the weeds, but Attorney General Dana Nessel of Michigan, she is a beloved, MSNBC resistance hero for some of the cases she brought against Republicans, the election scheme. But she basically tanked the criminal investigation. The Michigan State Supreme Court threw out her office's criminal prosecution, stating that they essentially violated the state constitution in the way they brought it. As a result, former Governor Rick Snyder's charges were thrown out. 8 other state officials' charges were thrown out. In many cases, the statute of limitations has passed for those crimes. And as we speak, the criminal investigation has ended. So it seems no one will be held criminally accountable.
Jordan, lastly, what do you think that this story tells us about America?
I think the story of Flint tells us about America that the capitalist system, if you're in the wrong city at the wrong time, if you have leaders that want to, run government like a business, throw emergency managers, which are unelected czars, to take over power, try to, privatize things, which is what led to this. The government is not going to help you, really help you, if you are poisoned, whether it's water, whether it's fracking, mining, whether a train blows up in your town in Ohio. You'll get some kind of artificial surface help. And the headlines will say you're getting money, but at the end of the day, they will leave you to slowly die. And that's what's happening in Flint between the cancer and other illnesses from lead and other things that were in that water. It's basically a city that's been abandoned by the government and the media.
And there are so many places like that around the country, which you have done maybe a better job than anyone on covering and staying with the story even after a lot of the cameras go away. Jordan, thank you for joining us. Thank you for doing this incredible work on the documentary. And thank you also for letting us post this on our channel. We're really proud to be able to, premiere this and show off the work that you've done and bring this story to, to the country. So everybody make sure you check out Jordan's documentary. And any last thoughts, Jordan, or any additional advice on how to follow your work?
And thank you to Breaking Points. There are no mainstream media outlets that are willing to stay on Flint. So you're not a mainstream outlet, and that's why you're airing it. Yes, you can check out and subscribe to Status Coup on YouTube, Status Coup, where we cover Flint, East Palestine, and many similar stories. And you could support our work at statuscoup.com/join.
Statuscoup.com, guys. Go check it out. They do really important work that is totally overlooked by the mainstream press. Jordan, always great to see and talk to you. Thank you, sir. Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.